Music to my
There you go.
ears, you guys. We are officially recording. Wonderful. Thank you all for coming and taking the time to come to this special meeting due to technology not being on my side last week. As promised, I'll make this as quick as I can. So we will go around. I will officially call us to order at 5:33. And we will go around and just do some quick introductions. And I'll just kind of call you in the order of my screen because I think that's just the easiest. So Sarah Dufresne, Early Childhood Services Coordinator, Town of Mansfield in Youth Services. And I'm also the School Readiness Liaison for Mansfield, which is why you get me for here for MAC. Denise, we'll have you go next.
My name is Denise Kegler, and I'm just joining the committee this year. My husband, son and I moved to Mansfield in 2020, and my son is in Southeast and super happy there. And I work for the Mansfield Downtown Partnership.
Welcome.
Yeah, yay. All right, Erin.
I'm Erin Clark. I'm the director over at Mount Hope Montessori School. And Denise, what grade is your son in?
He is in first grade with Ms. Rancourt.
Oh, okay. I have Villar, so I'll see you at things, I'm sure. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you.
Love these little connections. Judy.
I am Judy Stoughton. I'm children's librarian at Mansfield Library. And welcome, Denise. We have Denise's husband at the library. So we see the whole family.
I know, we got lucky. We got lucky with those Keglers. Jane.
Jane Goldman from UConn Human Development. I worked more with the big people than the little people. The adult students. But now I'm also on the board at MDD.
Yay.
Yay. Thanks, Jane. All right, and that leads us to Debbie.
Hi, Debbie Plord. I'm the director at Mansfield Discovery Depot.
Thank you. All right, Miguel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miguel Colon. I'm the Associate Director for Community Outreach, and we have a few programs with Mansfield. So I'm just representing the male race on this one. So.
I know. I also love how you're like, yeah, we just do a few things with youth services, like just a few. Like, yeah, no big deal. Katie.
I'm Katie Bell, she, her, hers. I am the youth services supervisor for the town of Mansfield.
And definitely not least, Lisa.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Lisa Don, the director at Community Children's Center.
All right, perfect. Anybody want to make a recognition real quick? I know we haven't met in a while and it's on the agenda, even though it's a special meeting. You don't have to. Perfect. Just going to move right along. There was no public comment. I had none emailed to me. So if anybody in the future would like to make a public comment, at the bottom of the agenda is my email address. So any of you who watch this MAC meeting out there in, I don't know, YouTube world, send a comment. All right, so then we have the approval of minutes. I sent the draft of the June minutes. I know, I can't believe it was that long ago. So I hope you all had a chance to look at them. And was there any edits or anything that anybody would like to add to the minutes? Perfect. So by consensus, do we all approve the minutes at 5:37? Please raise your hand.
Yep.
And Denise will abstain because she's not an official. All right. Perfect. All right. So as promised, I will go through as quick as I can on these updates. With the space allocation, unfortunately, the OEC did not grant me additional funding. So I was not able to create 2 additional spaces for Mount Hope, which is what they had asked for.
Oh, no.
Well, hold on, Debbie. I was able to move some of the spaces that Debbie had and use a little bit of leftover funding that I
Oh,
had to create a space for Mount Hope and also bring back 2 additional spaces to Child Labs. So slowly but surely we will get ourselves back to where we were. Again, we are one of those towns that always uses our spaces and we can use that to our advantage. So the OEC has just started kicking back up all of their liaison meetings and we have a lot of Q&A sessions. I have one with them next week. And that was my biggest question was, you know, how do we get more funding? How can we use some of these spaces and these funds from these centers that have shut down, who have not reopened and who have not been able to fill their seats? So hopefully I'll get some update on that. And, you know, I will just in this grant year, just keep applying for more and hope that we get more. I think it's so exciting that we have Mount Hope added in there. So I would love to just keep adding spaces as long as they're in even numbers or increments of 5, because my brain only lets me compute that way. No. So that was that. And another really interesting update that I don't think a lot of you know was the OEC, since they had so much extra funding, they decided this summer to cover parent tuition payments. So the weekly fee, if a family had paid a weekly fee of $98 for the 4 weeks, the OEC reimbursed the center. Okay, so how can I explain this in the easy way? Right, okay. So the OEC agreed to pay $145 per space per month for the families that were there, which was great. So the centers were guaranteed, those centers open in the summer, were guaranteed $145 for each space that they have. What that also meant was that for some of our spaces that, let's say their weekly fee was $98, that would mean that the center was actually losing out on money if they only took this $145. And it was actually mandated by the OEC that they had to take this $145 per child and could not accept parent payments. So they could carry the payments over, they could refund the payments, but they could not apply those payments to July or August. They did make a way that a center could fill out a form that showed the difference that they would have in the money that they would lose by accepting only this $145 per child. And I am very, very happy to say that Lisa and Deb successfully filled out that form and were given their full family fees. And
No, not yet.
No,
We're
not yet.
promised it, but not
Yeah.
received.
Okay,
That's true, Lisa.
they were approved for those payments, have not received those payments. I did not know that, and I will follow up with that next week. Thank you. I'm going to write that right now.
I mean, actually, no, they said they were, that we would get a check. I'm confident that we'll get a check.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I
just
think
didn't,
that,
they just didn't tell us when.
right.
Right.
I mean, July and August was a few months ago, and that's a lot for, okay. All right, I will follow up on that.
Yeah.
But in the end of things, that is money that families got to save, which is really great. And that's why we all do what we do. So these families were able to, you know, use those months of tuition to other months of tuition, other weeks. So it really is neat. And for it to kind of happen around, oh God, the holidays. I hate to say it because I was just saying we're almost in November. It's a really cool thing. And I think it helped a lot of families. And at the end of the day, it was a great thing for them to do. I think it just maybe could have been done a little better, a little less hoops to jump through, a little faster on the payments to these centers. But all in all, awesome thing that was done for families in Mansfield.
Well, my thing was, I wish they hadn't done the same thing that Care for Kids did, you know, because then, you know, so Care for Kids paid July and August.
And you just got that money up front, right? Right.
She's frozen.
So that was the stinker. So, you know,
Well, hopefully if they do anything like this moving forward, they kind of can fine tune it. I think they will. I mean, it really came from such a good place. It was best
oh,
of
yeah.
intentions. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No argument there.
All right. So moving on, I have a chairperson update. So the lovely Denise Kegler, who has joined us for MAC, who has her awesome little guy at Southeast, had expressed interest in being our chair. And I could jump through hoops and literally run to your house right now and give you a hug for that. So thank you. So that is really my update on that. And I think that the only thing that we have to do, and I don't even know if we officially have to do this, but just in case we do have to do it, I don't want to miss out on not doing it, if that makes any sense. Can we all vote whether we would agree to have Denise Kegler be our chair for MAC? So I would need someone to make a motion. I think so. Could it go by consensus? I never know how these MAC rules work. I think in all the bylaws it says by
I think you need
consensus.
I think you need a motion.
All right, we'll take a motion.
I'll move.
All right, Lisa. So Lisa motions to have. All right. Can I get a second? Judy, love it. And 544. All right, I need a vote here. All in favor, please say aye.
I
All right, Debbie, I was waiting for that. We couldn't see your hand, but I knew you were there.
Aye.
All right. Awesome. And there was no abstention. I mean, there was no no's, and Denise would obviously abstain, but thank you. I'm so happy. Welcome, Denise. I am so very, 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 very excited. This, I think, means a lot. And
Sarah, I had a question because
sure.
Technically we were appointed by the town committee on committees or whatever it is. So wanted to double check if Denise been appointed, or do we still have to wait on that?
So we would still have to wait on that. I actually talked to the town clerk last week on how that whole thing would work. So once we kind of agree that we wanted her to be chairperson, she would then fill out her application online to be part of the committee. And then that would go into the next committee on committee meeting. And then she would be appointed.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So we're
Thank you.
making good time. We're following all the rules. And the town clerk said they weren't even sure if we needed an official vote, but it would never hurt to have one. So that's kind of, again, why I was like, let's just do this. So I'm happy that we did. And I will follow up with Denise on all of kind of the stuff on that end to get it to the committee on committees. And then once it becomes official, she'll get her official appointment letter. So thank you. I'm so excited. The next thing that we have to vote on, and this is kind of something that looks really long and tedious, which is the MDD variance waiver application. All that this is saying was at the beginning of COVID, centers could change their hours to accommodate staff easier and families easier. So a lot of centers, instead of having extended hours or being open earlier, went to just kind of a set schedule so that it was easier on their staff. It was easier basically for those reasons. Instead of being open at 7:30 and having to switch a staff halfway through the day, it might be easier just to be open 8 to 5 and give them an hour break. So in order to change your hours back, which is what Debbie's requesting to do, she's requesting to be open earlier in the morning to accommodate families that need to do early drop off. She has to fill out this form and get council approval. So all that she is asking for is to go back to what her original hours were, which is being open earlier in the morning so that families who need to drop their children off earlier can do so. And she's outlined in here how she will do that, that there has been needs identified by certain families and exactly how she will do that. And it's all in this lovely document that looks crazy, but it's not. So we just need to vote as a council whether we think it's okay for MDD to be open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, so Sarah, I need to clarify, because what it is I want to stay open from at 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then accommodate families who need it from like 7:15 to 8 o'clock.
Right.
Does
So going
that
back
make
to
sense?
offering, yep, it completely makes sense because a lot of centers do that. So a lot of centers are
Okay.
normally really only open 8 to 5, but they do offer before and after, and it's looked at as different, but you do need approval for that. Normally that would just be part of your operating hours, but when COVID happened, centers put their hours that they were going to be open, and now the OEC, if you're going to vary from those, wants this approval letter, is really all that is saying.
Okay.
And just, I think to clarify, I think Deb, what I heard you say is that you aren't planning on adding it to core hours, but that if there is a request, that you would then do the staffing changes to accommodate those requests as needed, and that you're anticipating those requests to come up.
Yes. Yes,
Right.
and we
So
are. And
it wouldn't be
we already serve families from 7:15 to 8 o'clock on an as needed basis.
okay. So do I have a motion to
Wait, I
accept?
have a question, Deb. What about the families that need late care? Does that have to be included, or are we not doing that anymore?
So, eventually we're going to get back to our original hours, and what we're trying to do, is meet parents for what they need. And so if a parent needs care on that flip side, and we have staff who can accommodate them, we will do it.
Okay. So for now, we're just asking for the extra hour in the morning, not official open time, but to allow staff to be there to care for children from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Right.
Got it.
Right. So in this way also is, so they say the biggest contributor to the spread of COVID is by mixing groups. Okay, so if we're not open from 7 to 8, we don't have to mix groups. Okay,
Right.
And so what we're doing is, if a parent needs care, then we're saying, okay, where does that child's, what's his classroom? Okay, who's his teacher? We ask that teacher, can you come in earlier to accommodate this family?
Okay, great, perfect. Sounds good to me. Does anybody want to make a motion on that or have any more questions?
What were your original operating hours, Deb?
So 7 to 5, and then we had extended care from 5 to 6. And the 5 to 6 was an additional charge. And then infants could not come in from 7 to 7:30.
What a complicated life. So
Yeah,
I'll
let me
make,
tell you.
let me see if I understand. I'll try to make a motion if you call on me to make a motion. I'll try.
I will call on Lisa to make a motion.
So I think what you're saying is, I move that MDD keeps their 8 to 5 hours and offers 7 to 8 to families as needed. Is
Love
that
it.
correct? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what she's asking for.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just copying that verbatim, so that's great. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor?
Vote on this one or still at the next meeting?
Because you're not an official, no.
Okay.
Aaron, all right. All right. And then that leads us to our last thing, which is our QE update. The way that the grant worked last year are we have all of our QE funds. They're in those 3 little breakdowns. So if you guys want to start kind of brainstorming how you want to spend those, please do. Buy yourselves equipment, get yourselves a really cool webinar, hire a performer, do those things, spend that money, please. I like giving you guys money. If you guys did any trainings too, please get those to me because I know that those stop being free by the state. So if you have any of those invoices that you've already paid and you have them, send them to me and I can reimburse you for those.
Oh, good.
Okay. Or if you still need to do trainings, just remember that you guys will have access to that money and you can certainly use it to do a training. All right, that is literally all I have. If anybody has anything they want to talk about in upcoming agenda items that they want to add, can add that now.
Hey, so did anybody hear about how
She's in her car.
the registry is going to compensate staff at centers by their degree? Did anybody hear that?
Yep.
No, I have an OAC meeting next week. I'm assuming I'm going to get caught up to date on all of this, but that's really
Yeah.
neat. So what are they going to do? They're going to give you as centers additional funding to pay those with certain.
No, it's going to go
No.
right to staff. It's going to go right
Directly
to
to the
staff.
staff. Yep. So they have to have their
Cool.
proper information in. They have to have their degree. I think longevity is one of the items.
Is
They
it?
have
Is
to
it?
have that 5-hour Care for Kids training. So make sure everybody has that. Yeah, I mean,
What
I
a
wondered.
cool motivator. That's
Isn't
a
that
neat motivator.
sweet?
Yeah, to get to, well, also it helps you guys so much if they keep their registries up to date. So it's, you know, it's only an added benefit for everybody. So that's awesome. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. Cool.
I am
like
so excited for staff.
that. Me too.
Well, let's see how much it's going to be.
I know it will be interesting to see, you know, and the interesting thing, Lisa, does that include like administrators?
Yes, it does. If
It
you have a
does?
registry, yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't
'cause you
sure.
guys are, you guys are on the registry for your sites and your centers.
Right.
So absolutely.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if they were including, you know, administrators, you know.
That's my
that's good.
understanding. So yay.
I know,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love that.
Yep.
All right, guys, our next meeting is December 1st. We do not meet in November. Go enjoy a nice little break. I love that we made all of these adjustments to our calendar and you guys get a little break from me. And I'll see you all in December on December 1st. And that is all I have for you. So go and enjoy
right.
the rest of this beautiful night. And I appreciate you all. I think I say that every time, but I hope you all know how much I appreciate you. So thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
5:56. We're out of
All
here.
right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Bye, everyone.
And I just got
Bye-bye.
home.
Oh, good. That's good, Deb.
Half hour ride.
Deb, you cracked me up. Bye, guys.
Bye.